Hi, students of psychology. I'm psychology professor Bruce Hinrichs, and in this video, we're going to learn about confirmation bias, which is a topic of social psychology. Social psychology is the study of how people are influenced by presence of other people or by the situations they're in. Fascinating field of psychology, maybe the most fun field of all psychology. One of the concepts we get from social psychology is called confirmation bias. It means we are biased towards certain information that confirms our beliefs. Let's learn a little bit about it. Why do people believe different things? Why do people believe false things, for example? Well, one of the reasons is that there's a tendency for people to notice, to pay attention to favor, and then later to remember any kind of events or information that confirms their present beliefs. So if you think the full moon makes people crazy, then you notice when there's a full moon and people are acting weird. And then you remember it later. But times when the moon is not full and people are acting weird, you don't remember that. And times when the moon is full and people are not acting weird, you don't remember that. You don't notice it. This is called confirmation bias. And this is very strong when there's emotionally charged issues like race problems, prejudice, and discrimination, or for deeply entrenched beliefs, very strong beliefs that people have about religion or about astrology, for example, and that people will notice, oh, you must be a Scorpio, you're acting like this. People will notice it when it's correct and they'll remember it, but when they're wrong, they don't remember it later. And so this confirms their bias. Confirmation bias means that we're testing ideas in a very one-sided way. We're not being objective, where we're tending to see the world from our lens, through our own beliefs that we have. So we have certain ways of thinking about things that we learned in our culture and from our experiences, and then we tend to interpret everything else that we experience through that lens. And therefore, we end up being overly confident that we're right and the other person is wrong, and we also make poor decisions. We've discovered this in political and organizational situations where people have made bad decisions because of confirmation bias. I sometimes refer to confirmation bias as selective perception because you are selectively perceiving certain things and ignoring other things, although confirmation bias is more than just perception because it involves interpretation, how you interpret things, and then it involves memory, whether you remember something or not. So if you have a certain way of thinking about things, then you notice everything that agrees with you, all the events and all the evidence that agrees with you. You notice it and you think about it, interpret it a certain way, and remember it later. This is especially powerful with factors like prejudice, that people will notice certain things about a certain group of people and not notice it in other people. So I always recommend with prejudice that forget about categories and think about an individual person and the behavior of the person. So when it comes to prejudice, don't think about groups, think about the individual, and think not about the person as the value of the person or the rights of the person, but the behavior of the person and how can we correct that if it's wrong. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this little introduction to confirmation bias. We could all learn from it. We all could be better if we want to be fair, if we want to be objective. We can become aware of confirmation bias, and this will help us. Check out my other videos at Brucey. Bye.